RO stands for results orientated. Results orientated behaviour in poker is basing how well you play on your recent results. For example, if you open shove queens and you are called by 7-4 of spades and you lose to a flush, you then play your queens less aggressively next time you are dealt them. Being results orientated basically means being scared of variance. Variance is the luck element of poker, that any hand can and will be beaten sometimes. It is natural for humans to avoid situations that have resulted badly for them in the past. For example, if a child is bitten by a dog, they are likely to develop a fear of dogs. However, as adults, we realise that this is an irrational fear. We are less likely to be injured by a dog than by a staircase. To become better poker players, it is necessary to recognise this natural tendency and train our brains to think rationally. To do this, it helps to understand your equity in all typical poker situations. That is the chance that your hand will win. In the example we used earlier, queens versus 7-4 suited, queens will win 80% of the time, or 4 out of 5 times. This is obviously a great situation for you. However, that 1 in 5 times where it loses does happen, and this is the one that you will remember, because we have a natural tendency to remember bad things. It's very important to remember, to make the maximum profit possible, in the long run, we must continue to play queens aggressively, because 80% of the time they will win. And as we learned in the last video with our coin flipping example, 7-4 suited may beat queens 3 times in a row, but the law of averages proves that in the long run, it will still win 80% of the time. And the next time you play it, regardless of what happened the last time, the chance of queens winning in this scenario is still 80%. So you need to take advantage of this positive EV. Heads up, an overpair will lose to an underpair 20% of the time. Aces will lose to 2 suited undercards 23% of the time. Aces will even lose to 7 deuce off 10% of the time. 2 overcards such as Ace King will lose to 2 undercards such as 8-7 38% of the time. That's nearly 4 out of 10 times. 1 overcard such as Ace 5 versus a low pair such as Pocket 8s has 31% equity. 1 overcard such as Ace 5 versus 2 middle cards such as 8-7 has 56 to 44% equity. 2 overcards such as Ace King versus a lower pair such as Pocket 8s has 46 to 54% equity. These last 2 examples are very close to 50-50. This is known as a flip. And as we learned in the last video, regularly playing flips will only result in breaking even in the long run. However, sometimes we are in situations where it's necessary to take advantage of every drop of positive EV available to us. When we do this and lose, it's easy to feel like we played badly because we lost. This is where you're in danger of being results orientated. If you feel like you're playing badly, you are likely to become tilted. Playing tilted means playing in an emotionally less stable state than is optimal. It will affect your decisions and will very often result in losses. Tilt must be avoided at all costs. In order to avoid result-orientated thinking and resulting tilt, try to remember that the decisions you made were profitable in the long run and that it was the right play no matter what the outcome this time. If you always make the right decision that is positive EV, you will always be profitable in the long run. This also applies to those times when you fold 7 deuce pre-flop and the flop comes 7-7 deuce. Remember that you did not make a mistake. That flop will only come so rarely that playing your 7 deuce on the off chance of hitting that flop is negative EV, which means you will be losing profit. Again, the fold was the correct fold, so you should feel good about it regardless of the results. Results-orientated thinking is bad. overcome your inbuilt tendency to remember bad situations by focusing on the equity of your play in the long run. Your goal is to be a winning player for life, not for this moment. So keep your head straight and good luck at the tables. The complete foundation course and all PokerStars VR School content is available via free registration at PokerStarsVRSchool.com.